Over the Christmas break, we finally hit 100,000 subscribers. It happened at 2 in the morning of the day after Christmas is what we call Boxing Day. Thank you so much for subscribing, sharing, and liking. We'll try and keep the content going, and let's get into the next video. S2000 here is getting full HardRace bushings and refinishing the arms. It is a supercharged car we built several years ago, so to try and reduce a little bit more sound, we're going to change that center resonator to a larger resonator. We'll show you along the way. And it's getting 2.4 bottom end, piston rods sleeved, and of course refinish the cylinder head and a few cosmetic things along the way. We did this car back in 2019, including doing our LHT brake package and refinish the calipers. Now, while we're doing the rest of it, he wants us to change the color of the wheels to the CR color and the center cap to match, and we're going to change tires too at the same time. This is unbelievable. Ready? All right, guys, welcome to 2025. So first off, thank you so much. 100,000 subscribers. Yes, 100,000 subscribers. We finally did it. The day after Christmas. Plans this year, I'm thinking of doing another mega meet we had. It was the coldest night of the year, but so many of you guys showed up. I got so much feedback. I was sick. If you did get to talk to me, I'd lost my voice like 4 or 5 times, and it was barely getting it back.
Yeah, Esther to start getting ready with the raffle tickets.
We have some t-shirts left, by the way. Being a cold night, didn't sell as many t-shirts as we would usually because people wanted sweatshirts and beanies, and we ran out of those really quick. They're in the store. The Mega Meet 2024 shirts in the store. Check them out. I'm thinking of doing another one in April and November. Let me know if you think that is a good idea. The manager at Quaker State, I'm going to screenshot what she said right there. Very nice. Great to hear that. She put on extra staff for that night. She knew it was going to be a pretty busy event. And she said that everybody was so nice to deal with and you guys were polite. I am going to get rid of the FL5. You guys probably saw the writing on the wall. It's a good car. I'm just not excited about it. I want to sell the wheels and tires separately. I'll put a list in the end of this video somewhere else. The springs have 300 miles on them. I'm going to sell those and I'll offer those with install if you want those springs, H&R springs on your FL5. Message me on Instagram. We'll put that together for you. Same with the wheel and tires. I think the tires have 200 miles on them. I do have plans to build another car, to get another car. You might be shocked, but it's something I'm more excited about. I'm going to continue the S2000. The phone holders should be done in about another week. Just waiting on the powder coat for one more part. Cup holders should be ready by the time you see this video. This is the closest thing to OE bushings. They press in just like the factory bushings, but this is a stiffer rubber, so it tightens up the suspension. Imagine every little bit of your suspension having just a little bit of play and replacing every single one with a stiffer rubber. It definitely makes a difference. So I like these over urethane. Urethane squeak. I don't care what anybody tells you, what grease you put on it. We've done them over the years. We've tried them all. You put their factory grease on, you put whatever they require, and 6 months, a year into it, they squeak and drive you bonkers. This is the answer right here. This is something we're going to offer. We're going to offer it in the shop. We're going to do it in my car. We're going to make a dedicated video to show you exactly how my car is before and after and show you basically how much deflection there is in each arm. I'm going to try and, share as much detail as we can. 560 tread wear tire. That's not really ideal for an S2000. One of those extra special things if you're like me, if you're really into your S2000 and you want to look underneath it and feel good about it looking really clean and new. I mean, part of ownership is just loving the car. It's not just about beating it around a track. This is a car from last year. When I say last year, like a week ago. It came in, he wanted us to change the coils because somebody had stripped out the bolt when we found out that the insert here is bad. I think he said this one, and this one is stuck. He said stripped. Well, let's see if we can get that off, and then I'm going to break the news to you how much a valve cover is.
Sounds like it's expensive.
I'm just setting you up for a scare.
Yeah.
Do you want me to just squeeze one? Will you turn it?
I don't know.
That's not going to do it, is it?
I don't think so.
Someone's put those coils in with an impact.
Yeah. All right, how much is the valve cover?
Our cost is like 122 bucks. And the valve covers are relatively inexpensive. So we've got a whole new valve cover we're going to change. We're going to see if we can get these bolts out. Also, while it's here, he has a bit of a list. right here, put his OEM ignition coils back in, brake pads, brake fluid flush. He has belt moldings, trans fluid, oil change, and of course the valve cover. This is a Civic SI, by the way. We did manage to retrieve that badge because you know what Honda's like? They don't give you a new one with the valve cover. So we're gonna see if we can make this one salvageable. We took our time to get it off. It's pretty straight, but basically that would be separate if you call Honda. You order the valve cover and then you order that. So we got two of them out by basically getting this hot, spinning this with the impact and then prying up on this to get that hot enough to come out. He's going to replace these with his OEM coils. I mean, there's no reason to put these coils in over the OEM ones being a low mileage setup. So there we go. We got everything off. I'm not sure if the new valve cover comes with that or not.
Probably pull it off. We just put that in.
Probably not. Let's take a look. So there's the new valve cover. That was something that we did put in last time. It's the PCV. So we can remove that and put it in here. And this thing should be ready to install. This is something we noticed. Getting the wheels off was pretty tough. That was stuck on here. Well, it wasn't just the hub centric. They were actually jammed on these threads right here. You can see the thread is marked a little bit from the spacer. Let me get it to focus right there. See that? Let me show you on the back of the wheel. You can see where it's grabbing on the wheel. That is all of them. You see right there? That pocket is where the thread is getting stuck. And it's left an impression in there. So something to look out for if you're going to do a spacer is make sure there is enough room in that pocket. When I say the pocket, this little hollow section of the wheel. So what we're going to do is go ahead and mill that out a little bit, give it a little bit of clearance. That way it sits completely flush on the spacer and we don't have it grabbing on there, because it could make the wheels come loose because it's not torquing up correctly. So as it heats and cools, that wheel could actually come loose. All right, that is everything complete. New valve cover is on, fluid is flushed, oil is changed, trans is changed. There we go. The car that's on the front of the calendar, this came from our good friend Chris in the UK. There you go, that is January's car. So we have our arms loaded right now. We have the weight of it on the jack stand. The lift is here just to help control it, but we've basically got the arms in the right position. So now we can tighten these bolts here for the upper A-arm, then the alignment bolt right here, and then the lower alignment compliance bolt right there. Just freshly built pistons, rods, sleeves, K24 crank. So this is something we're going to offer in the future, either 10-to-1 compression, which is what this is, and then we're going to offer a higher compression option for all motor. This is the head that's prepped to go on it. We're going to start assembling this here in a minute. This is a B-series crank. We're actually building a B-series in the background. We just took this out. We're going to clean it. So the additional size comes from the stroke. It's now a longer stroke than the F22. The board's pretty much the same. So now we're going to start assembling it. I'm not going to show you all the details on that because it is a little bit boring, but we're going to start adding the parts on it, and we'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Imagine this going in your S2000. Think of that as saying F24. So this is a 10-to-1 motor because it's supercharged, but this with 12-to-1, but have that all motor feel and that super OEM plus. While everything was apart, we've cleaned everything and like this intake manifold, refinished it, make it look a lot nicer. That way when it all goes back together, it looks a whole lot cleaner and fresher under the hood. So we have, I think, 5 or 6 MotoCompactos left. These are still selling on eBay, by the way, for $100. We're selling them for $39.95. We're not jacking up the price. Check them out. LHTperformance.com. They're in the store. The engine is in and set up. We're going to leave the injectors off for right now and crank the motor over and build some oil pressure before we do anything. This car did come in with a supercharger. The supercharger is sitting off right now just so we can isolate it and make sure everything is good with the motor before we hook this up, because the superchargers do make a different sound. This is the pulley right here. It's got a spacer. It's got a tie wrap on here. Believe it or not, it actually centers itself. It doesn't come off. It looks like it would come off. It doesn't. It just jingles around. So you'd be surprised. We've had people come in with the bolt missing off here.
There it was.
Okay, we got oil pressure we can start her up, put the injectors back on, we'll put the catch can on and the supercharger once it's ran for a few minutes. You ready, George?
Yep.
There she goes. Is here for a factory OEM clutch, and he mentioned there is a clunking in the back. So I worked on this car about a year ago, and as you see, I put new end links on there. Both of them were broken, and it seemed like the clunking went away. Well, it's back. There's the clutch. Look at that. Nice even wear. One of the better clutches that we've seen. Now it's got a brand new factory Honda OEM one in there. Just did an oil change on this one too, just to make sure everything is good, and adjust the clutch. Just took it for a test drive. It engages nice and smooth, super smooth. So hope you guys had a good Christmas. My dad did come to visit. He made it here on the 23rd and he leaves tomorrow. After two broken belts back to back, and now the hub bolt on the supercharger is broken, we talked to the customer. He's decided to go with the Science of Speed supercharger. It's a much stronger system, runs the same oil system as the car, so no expensive oil changes, and of course a belt that only runs $35 if you need to replace it. So this S2000 would just put a brand new FX300 in it. One thing I wanted to show you, notice it looks a little different here. So the gauge cluster doesn't fit quite the same. Well, there is a reason for that. Check this out. This is the ID4 motion dash for the S2000. So I wanted to get one of these. I basically wanted them to give me a special deal on it so I could share it with you, and they didn't want to work with me. They basically wanted me just to buy one and say, well, there you go. And not trying to be a big shot or act like I should be getting special treatment, but if I'm going to take the time to share this with you and take the time to install it in my car and take the time to videotape it, obviously I should get some kind of deal. I wasn't trying to resell them. I was going to use theirs to market for them, but anyway, if they change their mind, I'll let you know. But I would like to put one in mine and show you all the features. There's a few things I like about it, a few things I don't. These are the S2000 CR caps. They're a darker silver, almost a gunmetal. We had the factory wheels refinished, powder coated to match that, and then changed, put new tires on. These are the Firestone Indy 500 tires, 10 millimeters wider than factory. They look a little bit better, like they fill it out, make it a little bit more aggressive. Of course, another 10 millimeters of rubber on the ground. So on the rear tire, you see we've gone 2, 55, 40, 17. These are the Firestone Indy 500. Really, really nice tire. We've had good luck with these tires. And then on the front, same tire, but we are going with a 225, 45, 17 right here. See, it's got a little bit more of a square look, a little bit more of an aggressive look, 10 millimeters wider. Again, not a huge amount, but a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. Engine bay, the Science of Speed supercharger with the LHT grip tech pulley, the green belt. The center cover is matched to the car. Refinished the intake manifold. Everything just looks just nice and clean under there. Actually taking a little bit of function from the scoop right here for the filter. And of course, it's an air-to-air intercooler. Lowering was done previously. Of course, we've got the new bushings. It needs to settle before a final alignment. Black exhaust tips just gives it that more of a stealthy look. It's got a really good look. This color with that wheel just looks money. That really does complete the look. What do you guys think? Super nice car. New clutch, did the FX 350. It's got a nice smooth engagement. I recommend you run the AP2 flywheels when you do the Supercharger. It does have a bit more of a smoother operation. The flywheel is quieter. It doesn't have as much of a ringy sound as the lighter flywheels. Typically an AP1 flywheel is the one we'd do with a turbo car, but with a supercharged car, AP2 flywheel definitely runs smoother, engagement smoother, and of course overall drivability. There we go, guys. What do you guys think? Tons of power, tons of torque. Nice, quiet, smooth, and look at that. You'd never know this car is a 2008. What a good looking car that is.